I was definitely a people pleaser. I wanted my parents to be proud of me. So I studied hard, long hours, put aside the play, became very serious. And that's when that introvert in me came out. I now enjoyed my company a little too much. Do you have what it takes to continue going, to continue investing in yourself, to say, this too shall pass? I will get past this. I will learn from the mistakes I made, and I will continue pushing through. I am a credit analyst by profession, and so I read numbers tell a story for me. I get where the stories, but when I see numbers, I actually can tell you what is going on with your business. And it's something that all analysts do.
Hi, I'm Obehi the author of the storytelling series for small businesses and content creators. In Obehi Podcast, we talk about the power of your story, your narrative, and why you should own your voice. Whether you are a small business owner, a content entrepreneur, or you simply want to build your influence, storytelling is probably going to be your best instrument to connect with your audience. So join the awakened few who are owning their voices. Now let's get started with today's episode.
I am Lenore Ramirez Bartholomew, and I was born in the beautiful Twin Island state of Trinidad and Tobago. And, as a mother, wife, entrepreneur, career banker, I have my hands in everything. I love helping people. But with, all of that happening, I consider myself an introvert. And so I get mixed up in stuff, but and I love helping people, and I have a passion for women, and having women, teaching women financial literacy and health and wellness, and so many different things. And it means that I have to interact, and then I call myself an introvert. So there's definitely a bit of dissonance there.
All right, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. So you were born in Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Yes, I was.
All right. Now I'm jealous of what I want to learn there. Tell me a bit about your infancy when you were growing up there, your teenage years, because not everybody have been to the Trinidad and Tobago. Therefore, people don't know what is happening there. So give us the privilege to know Trinidad and Tobago in your days of infancy and adolescence. Yes.
Okay, so um, Trinidad is one big neighborhood. It's everybody knows everybody. And so the Twin Island states, so Trinidad is sort of like a business hub. And 15 minutes away is the small island of Tobago, which has all the beautiful beaches and lots of tourism and good food. And so I grew up between these two worlds of busy, business island and everything. And then there was the little paradise tucked away. And as a child growing up there, it was a beautiful experience, even in the midst of my parents separating and all the things that come with that. I still had a neighborhood that raised me. And I remember playing with the neighbors' kids. We were all in the streets. We felt safe. We, did roller skating, bike riding, uh, dance competitions, you name it, we did it together. And the neighbors looked out for each other and for the kids. So it was really a beautiful experience. Even though things weren't great on the home front, I never lacked, I never needed anything. And many times my house was the hub for, all things snacks and fun because neighbors shared in that time. And of course, as an adolescent, growing up in my teenage years, going to school. The focus now was on career and studying hard and getting all your passes, as your parents would say, passing all your exams. So I was definitely a people pleaser. I wanted my parents to be proud of me. So I studied hard, long hours, put aside the play, became very serious. And that's when that introvert in me came out. I now enjoyed my company a little too much, was always focused and very serious about everything. And I think I lost a little bit of fun, in those years. And I lost that innocent childlike way because now I'm focused on becoming this person who can take care of herself and her family and do, great things in this world because a lot was always expected of me. So, but it wasn't too bad. It was
Absolutely
not
not.
too bad.
It make you who you are today, right?
It did, and that is the thing, all the adversity, these issues, everything. It created a person at it. There were two extremes, and now I find that I have more balance as I've grown into myself, understanding that everyone makes mistakes and everyone strives for, and you achieve things sometimes, and then you realize, well, this is not really what I wanted, but it has taken me to this point where I can now grasp the dream that is in my heart and live your full potential, and that is all that I'm about right now.
And you are happy about that, right?
I am. I'm learning that even any adversity that you have faced or are facing or will face in life is there to teach you a lesson. And it is up to you to learn that lesson. Your attitude and your belief regulates your response to your life. And that is something Dr. Miles Monroe said. And I have it, always in my vision because I believe that it reminds me that it is up to me, that even though things around me may be negative, how I choose to deal with it makes the difference. Whether I feel I choose to stay stuck in that position or stuck in that situation, dwelling on it. And even today, a very close friend, I will call her family, reminded me of that because right now we're going through a time of family, hardships, loss, that kind of thing. And you could get tired and worn out. And when you're tired, the Bible says when you're tired, you have to be mindful of what you say and what you do. And sometimes when you act out of that space of need, you are not acting as your true self. We're tainted, it's tainted by all the things that you're experiencing. And when you become settled, when you've satisfied all the major the hierarchy of needs, as Marcel puts it, then you find your true self and you realize that you've made decisions along the way based on your lack rather than where you want to go or who you want to be. So, it's a good reminder that my attitude and my belief regulates my response to my life.
Thank you so much for that. That's really incredible. That's beautiful. I appreciate that. Now,
Oh,
now
thank
tell me
you.
something. How do you describe your work today? Your main business, your main target, your main work. How do you describe it today?
So I recently decided to make a big decision and take early retirement from my 9 to 5 as a career banker of 28 years and to launch out on my own to make a difference. So, what I do now is look for young people or even older people, doesn't matter what age, who have a dream in their heart to do something, to contribute in the business world. So they might be skilled in making uh, paper plates with beautiful patterns that, encourage others. And they're really good at it. They have a niche market, but they just don't know how to move forward. Would anybody want my product? How can I get into business? Do I have to register? Do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur or a business person? I want to work with people who have a seed that they want to grow. And so that is what I'm doing. But I can swing all the way up to merger and acquisition. So, that wide scope based on my training and years of experience, I want to bring that now to the fore to help people, to help business people, individuals. I'll even teach teenagers how to work towards their life goals. And even though those goals shift, how to teach them to shift with that based on their experience and their environment. And that is my passion. And so the company that I created is Du Soleil Legacy Consultants. And being a God girl, that name had something to do with it. So Du Soleil is of the sun, meaning the actual sun in the sky. But I but I focus on God to guide me. He's my compass. And so it's not just of the SUN, but it's also of the SON, because with His direction, He's going to send the people that I can help. God is always going to direct people to you that He has given you the gifts to help. So I'm not a big marketer, but there are people that are drawn to me and I to them, and those are the people that I pour into. And a lot of the times I learn from them as well. So that is that basic market. And then I have a heart for women and teaching women about financial literacy. It is my experience that women in our society carry they are the nurturers. They teach, they multiply, and it's a biblical principle. If you give a woman a seed, she multiplies it. It becomes a child. You give her a house, she creates a home. So that, and some people take it and it goes a little further and it becomes a joke, a little running joke. But really, that is biblical. And so when you teach a woman how to manage her finances, she teaches her children. She helps her husband or her significant other. She even, she spreads it to her community. She talks to her girlfriends, her sisters. She multiplies that knowledge. And when you have a strong household with educated, informed individuals in that household, you create a stronger society. You just have to tap into that one person that spreads the good word and teach, and you just impact so many more. So, you don't have to have a big crowd in order to make a big impact. And of course, I'm a little bit of a health nut. So I got myself involved in this Artist Life Global Ambassador health and wellness company. And it's network marketing, but it's network marketing that focuses on health and wellness. So there are nutritionals and orthopedic garments, and it's the only one of its kind in the world because we have an anti-cancer bra, garments that help you with sciatica and back pains. So I get in my focus, I get to help people with their businesses, their bodies, their minds, even spirituality, because I am
Wow,
co-founder of
you are all rounder. That's
I
beautiful.
am and the thing about it is things that I love to do. So it's not how should I say, it is not a burden to do it. I get up every morning anticipating what is ahead of me. And sometimes the lessons in helping people are difficult. They become, not all things are straightforward, not all lessons are linear. So I am going to add a period in my family life now where, we're dealing with sickness and those things. And I'm realizing that what I'm called to do that I've never done before will definitely impact on who I believe God called me to be. But it's a difficult situation. And because it's a difficult situation, it's very easy to lose the lesson. So, I it's fantastic that, when God opens your eyes to things and you realize, oops, I'm being difficult in this situation. But if I change again my attitude and my belief, then and it will regulate my response, and then can get the entire outcome that God intended in the situation.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. I really do. All right.
Thank
Now,
you.
uh, tell me something about the primary concern of the people that you are helping. Please share with me.
Okay, so a lot of people, let's just start with someone who has a dream, who knows that, okay, I like baking cakes and pastries, and my neighbors love it. My family loves, eating what I make. And I want to turn this into a business. I want to do more. I want to make people happy with food, but I don't know where to start. How, do I have what it takes? And that is the first question I encourage young people, businessmen, entrepreneurs to ask. Do I have what it takes? Because success again, it's a hill and valley situation. And when you take your hard earned seed money investment and pour it into something that you're passionate about, and you think because 10 people that you know said this is fantastic, and you know that it's a good product or service, then something goes wrong and now you're left with just the bare minimum. It seems that you've lost what you have. You've invested in this, that, and the other equipment and ingredients and a storefront or a website or what have you. Do you have what it takes to continue going, to continue investing in yourself, to say, this too shall pass? I will get past this. I will learn from the mistakes I made and I will continue pushing through. Because many times businesses just need that extra investment, that extra push, that extra time to get past the hump where you are making losses, sometimes breaking even if you're lucky, and to get into the point of profitability and marketability and being a household name or a neighborhood name even. But you cannot turn away or give up at the first hurdle. If you think of a race where you have one of those hurdle races, and you'll see many times runners, just they're all, you know, piped, and they're pumped and they're ready to go. And they have the hurdles in front and they have been practicing for months and sometimes years. They take care of their bodies. They think they've done everything correct. And then they are unable to cross one of the hurdles that falls. They have a choice. They can either stop and forfeit the race, or they can continue going, learning from, okay, I didn't give enough lift when I did that, so I'm going to just keep going and keep going over those hurdles. Eventually, even though they may or may not win, they have crossed all the hurdles, they have come to the end of the race, and they were successful in that race because they actually completed it. It's important to finish what you've started and not allow obstacles to stop you. That is the first lesson that I teach. And I've created an online course called Entrepreneurial Strategy, where it gives you these different scenarios. It's almost like a psychological evaluation in terms of being able to go through with getting into entrepreneurship and going through to the point of success, and giving you tips as to, okay, if you are not if you find that you are weak in this area, what can you do to improve? How can you change your mindset so that you adopt an I can do it mindset? I can get over this. I can be successful. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, even, because that is actually the premise upon which that course was built. That you don't have to stop, even if you think, okay, I have 3 out of 5 things that are weaknesses. That doesn't mean that you cannot turn those weaknesses into strengths. So you do not give up, because when you're passionate about something, I believe that God has put that passion into you. And I certainly think that we ought to live, that is our purpose, to live and to do what God has planted in you in seed form, with His help watering and giving you the increase so that you can actually realize your purpose. And as they say, die empty. So That whole course was created on that premise so that once you've covered that, then we start working on okay, registration, marketing, your business plan, stuff like that, your financials, your company structure, you know, how are you going out there, feasibility studies, you talk, you name it. We start working on the nitty gritty of building your foundation as a business and getting you out there. So
Wow.
that takes time.
That's
That
great.
takes a lot of time.
That's great. That's great. That's great. I love that. Now, what about the engagement? How do you engage with the people? I mean, what is your method of engagement? Because I hear you were talking about marketing before, that you have a different approach to it, that you're not there marketing all the time. Do you want to share anything in line with that?
Okay, so most people are they have something. So let me go back to when I wanted to create Juicy. When I was 7 years old, I was waiting for my dad at a library. So after school, I would walk down to the library because I love books. And I would wait for him there. And while I'm there, I would either be finding something to read or there was an art class next door. I would go and pretend I could draw, because I cannot draw to save my life. But I saw this brochure on a travel brochure, mind you, on Italy. And that stuck with me. I literally took the brochure home with me and had it for many, many years. Because at that point, a seed was planted in me. And that I would go to Italy, I would travel to Italy. And as I grew up, I would see people in need on the side of the streets and that sort of thing. And I'm thinking, I can help them. I want to help them. Where's their family? Why can't, somebody needs to help them. And my dad would laugh at me because I would cry every time I see a homeless person. And, I was always very diligent about my schoolwork. So I did very well. And I had a penchant for business. So I naturally went into that field. And I would see a building and I would think, that building would make a good hostel and, the government could supply people to like doctors, have doctors visit people, homeless people there, and they can hire those homeless people to manage the building. So that is their key. But I had a whole structure in my head about this business, what could happen with this. And I often thought, well, if I could think about this, why can't the government think about it? Why can't this minister think about it? But to me, it was just simple. And so that continued growing. And then I had this idea, okay, you know what? And I know that to me, when I look back, it is Holy Spirit showing me and guiding me into the way that I should go. So I had this thing that, okay, so I am going to create this space then. If nobody else will do it, because people need to heal. People need a space where they can catch themselves. Whether they have money or they don't have money, they will be welcome. And I just had this whole picture in my head. And of course, one of it had to be one of the my retreat centers had to be in Italy, and one has to be in another country. I have big, grandiose dreams, but I have to make these dreams come true. So then I have to have business. So, I literally fell into banking because I was working my first job was with an oil company as a clerical officer. And I just met somebody who I knew she was working for the same company. And she switched jobs and she happened to be in HR. And, we were chatting. She said, so do you want to join? I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll send you a resume. And I got the job. 28 years later, today, I am here having studied along the lines of finance and, becoming a chartered banker and loving to travel and then eventually visiting Italy. Short visit at all, but the love and the passion that I developed from 17 to now, to the present date, has never waned. It has only increased. And then my love for business, all the things along the way, all the markers along the way have become this huge purpose in front of me that I want to do, that I know that I will do. And I know that I have to rely on God for much of what is to happen, but I've seen Him work. And so what I bring is not just an opportunity for me to make money. What I'm bringing and how I go out there and talk to my customers is letting them know I understand what it is to have a dream in your heart and just needing to get that out, needing to actualize that, and needing the help and the guidance. And not everybody could do what I did. Not everybody is as driven as I am. They just need some guidance and continual a hand to just, okay, you're going that way. No, don't do this, do that. And yes, it's a service they have to pay for, but how much do you want this dream? How passionate are you about realizing your purpose? And so I meet them at that point because as you often say over here, everyone has a story. And so when I learn what their story is, sometimes it's I need to do this because I need to take care of my family, and that is the most pressing of all stories. But why are you choosing, uh, let's say, sales over, maybe being a shoemaker? It's because I'm good at selling. I get people to do this, that, and the other, and I'm. It's easy for me to convince somebody to buy this garment rather than to make something for them. I'm not that artsy. So there's always a reason. And why are you good at selling? Well, I used to walk around with my dad and he used to do it and I used to mimic him. There's always a story that drives what you do, how you do it, and when you do it. Right?
Agree.
So that I meet people there.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely. Thank you for that. Now, I don't know if you want to spend a few seconds to talk about the name of your company. I think that is very important because you were touching it just now. Tell me, where did it come from? What does it mean deeply with you?
Okay. So when I was a young teenager, I was probably about 18, I traveled to Canada for the first time. And I was just fascinated by the architecture and everything. And there was this, my cousin, because my family lived here, took me to a store and she bought these pair of shoes for me, a pair of black loafers with gold rings on the front. And I love those things. And in it, the style or the brand name at that time was Soleil. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And so I looked it up. It's a French word and it meant sun. And I was like, wow, yeah, I could see it because it made me. I put these shoes on and I thought I was the sun. I thought it was like the best thing, right? And but that word stuck with me. Many years later, um, I am writing, and I usually get these when I'm in meditation. I might be meditating on a scripture because I'm a God girl, as I said, and I would be prompted to write on something, and there would be a story or I don't know how to explain this because this is what God does with me. So, and I would need to write something and explain something, and often using examples from my life. So I started writing, and I have tons and tons of notebooks that I have to actually now put together and publish. I have lots of books inside of me, but I started writing on Instagram as well. And the name Soleil just kept coming back to me. And there is a scripture that says, it talks about children of God being, sons of God. And I was like, okay, there's a connection here, and obviously a spiritual one. So the word du Soleil came to me, and I was like, okay, so you know what? That is going to be a name I'm keeping for my business. Didn't even think about business at that time, but it stuck with me. So I decided many years later, then we've been traveling very fast, but now I'm ready to register my business, and I'm thinking, good, I'm going to use my name, Du Soleil. of the Son. And I literally heard yes, because if you do what God wants, you'll be a child of God, you'll be a son of God. And I was like, whoa, it's one of those mind blowing moments where things just start gelling, and it's like, wow. So the business was supposed to be named Dusele Business Consultants. And the watchword is turning dreams into legacies.
I love that. I
And
love that.
I sent, that's the thing, and I sent this, all this came to me. I'm not even that, it's just, again, God pouring into me. So I gave my accountant the information to go register the business and do all the hard work for me. I didn't want to be doing that. And he came back to me, he says, I can't do the name. And I started to panic because Dusele was important. I said, why can't you do Dusele? He says, no, not Dusele. I can't do business consultants. But I did something for you though. And I said, what did you do? He said he registered it as Dusele Legacy Consultants. I was like, oh my, because I did not give him the watchword. He did not need that. That is just, for my website and whatnot. He just had Dusele Business Consultant, so he did not see legacy. So when he said that to me, it was like confirmation to me that this is what it is. This is right, because it's now Dusele Legacy Consultants turning dreams into legacies.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
It is the way it's supposed to be. And I could not, I was like so grateful that he even took the initiative to just do it anyway. It's just like he knew that I would like that, and he just did it.
Wow,
So,
I love that. I love that.
it is amazing what God does.
Thank you for that sharing. All right, now if you were to say maybe in few words what you do for your clients and the kind of service that you render to them briefly, what would that be?
It would be guiding you from the point of your dream or your idea, your business idea, teaching you how to do your business plan, how to actualize that business plan to realize your functional business, and then to guide you through. And at any point, if at that point you can either continue having me as a continuous consultant, or continue going on with your business, and then when you hit a hiccup, if you want to do something different, come back to me. We'll work through this little knot, or take you to the next level, and just help you to keep growing. If you are an established business, even if you are a large business, I can help you understand your numbers. So I'm really great at your financial statements. I am a credit analyst by profession, and so I read numbers tell a story for me. I get where the stories, but when I see numbers, I actually can tell you what is going on with your business, and it's something that all analysts do, but I really love doing this. And so I can teach you by showing you the numbers, where your business is, what you need to do, what you need to change, what you can tweak, what you can do more of, less of, that sort of thing. And if you wanted to sell your business, I can help you value the business so that you can sell it, or vice versa. If you want to buy someone's business, we can do mergers and acquisitions. It's the whole gamut. Um, Recently I had a thing for trade finance. So recently I picked up a consultancy with Euro Exim Bank as a trade finance specialist. So kind of adding, a little bit of mix to it, where I can help you with financing for imports and exports and that sort of thing. So it's still very much banking. It's still very much business. Although I took early retirement from the banking, now I think because of my scope, I'm able to help you with all areas, even building an admin team, I can help you with. And, if it's a one on one consultancy or a department consultancy, it depends. It's all structured to what you need for your business.
That's lovely. All right. Of course, we definitely are going to be coming back to that. Anyway, for today, we're not going to be stay here for a long time, but I believe that there's a lot of value out there. Of course, that is an excuse to come back again next time, because we have more things to talk about. Of course, we haven't even opened up the conversation towards the diaspora now, and how we can maybe leverage it for more. So we definitely are going to come back for that. Now, for now, people who
Awesome.
want to connect with you, how can they reach you? Use this few seconds to promote what you are doing. Please go ahead for that.
So Ducele Legacy Consultants can be reached via my website, which is lrramirez.com. And so I'm going to say that again because it sounds a little funny. So L as in Lenore, R as in Rosalind, RAMIREZ.com. So that's my website. And you can reach me as well on my WhatsApp or call me directly. My number is 1-868-764-1851. Email is info@lrramirez.com. So I can be reached easily by those mediums, and I respond immediately. You get your links for appointments. Everything is automated, so it's and hopefully we can have a fantastic free consultancy session for the very first time, so that I see if I can meet you at your pain points and help you along.
Thank you so much for that. Now, what will be your final thought today to conclude the conversation? Maybe a message you want to leave with the people. Yeah, please go ahead and do that.
Yes, most definitely. I guess colored by what is happening right now in my life and my general ambit, my general, love for all things health and wellness. Please take care of yourselves. Whatever we want to do in life, we need to take care of the vessel that God has given us. And if we don't do so from a very young age, then we'll find that in our later years, we have to face all sorts of problems. Some of them are easily solved, and some take us to our final days. So, anything you want to do, any dream you want to realize, begin by taking care of the person mentally, physically, spiritually that has to achieve this dream, this goal of living this life. God first, and everything else falls right into place. So that is what I would really love for everyone to take away from today's entire podcast, along with the fact that yes, I am here and I am willing to work with anyone. I love working with people. I love getting to know different cultures and learning their stories.
That's lovely. That's really, really lovely. Thank you so much for that, sister. I appreciate the conversation and appreciate also the sharing. Thank you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.